there is a company known as Real Bronx Tours, and they are allegedly gathering foreigners to travel throughout the Bronx and make fun of poor people. Now, this is an allegation that has been made by people who have traveled on the tour bus, and also it's been written by Alex Kane on Alternet. And, you know, they're alleging that this one woman, Lynn Battaglia, was on the, tour telling the people that were on the bus, oh, look at that soup kitchen, they go in there with nothing and they come out with a bunch of food, like basically pointing to them, making fun of them, taunting them. The tour also included a drive near a food pantry at a church. Battaglia wondered out loud, I don't know what that line's about, but every Wednesday we see it. We see them go through in with empty carts and we see them come out with carts full. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, is this acceptable? Obviously it's not. It's kind of incredible that they're blatantly doing it. Mm-hmm. And they don't think that they're gonna suffer any consequences for it.
My question is, obviously it's horrible. If it's true, it's absolutely horrible. But why would anybody even find this entertaining?
But isn't it,
why would people even go on this? I don't get it. It costs $45 to ride a bus around the Bronx and laugh at poor people.
But isn't it the same thing that made reality TV such a successful phenomenon? Do people watch reality television because it fulfills their lives? No. I think people, the vast majority of people that are obsessed with it, like it for two different reasons. Either they like it because of escapism, which is why I watch it time to time, and then there are people that really get a rise out of watching other people who are dumber than they are, that are living in worse conditions than they are.
Honey boo boo.
But oftentimes I think there's an element of you love to hate them because they signed up for it. And I think that's completely different than being a voyeur towards people who aren't asking for that kind of attention. Yeah. This really actually reminds me, I was watching CNN last week and there was a story, you guys may have even covered it, I'm not sure, where they were talking about how there's some new fad where rich people hire they hire paralyzed people, disabled people, and take them to the front of the line at Disney World.
Well, those are the job creators, I guess, in America. Obviously it's bad. We all understand that it's bad. But I wonder, what I worry is that people will look at this and then they'll say, it's not just that these people are bad, but look at what people are like these days. That they want to go. That you can have this tour and people will sign up and go. People have become so cruel and so disassociated with other people. But I think that sometimes in an attempt to understand what's going on, we go too far. I think that this is obviously self-selected, cruel people. These are people who want to mock others, and they're gonna find this avenue to do it. You remember you did a story a couple of weeks ago about the woman who was setting up cameras to take pictures of people making fun of her for being fat.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be some bad people, but that doesn't mean that people are bad.
Well, look, it definitely shows you that, the bullying that happens within middle schools and high schools continues on well into adulthood. You see people behaving poorly. You see people blaming others for their misfortunes. A lot of times, I love the point that you made, Cara. I feel like a lot of times people will say, oh, look at them going to the soup kitchen. Oh, it's because they don't want to work. Mm-hmm. It's blaming all of society's ills on people that might have been born into, a bad situation, and it's disgusting. I like the fact that there is some attention to this story because, if they're gonna go around and shame others because they're living in poverty, I think that we should shame them. You guys are bad people. You want to talk about immoral, this is my definition of immorality.
Yeah. I'm surprised the city lets it continue, to be honest. The borough president weighed in. He said it was disgusting. They're actually billing this. It says they're billing the tours as a ride through a real New York City ghetto.
Mm-hmm. It's disgusting.
So people know when they buy these tickets what they're signing up for.
And let's bear in mind, at least in this article, it says it's mostly foreigners. But also, I like to play
But there are ghettos in other countries. It's not like people are coming here
that.
oh, I've never seen poor people before. It's crazy.
But also, I think maybe it's supposed to, I guess, in some way humanize America. We give this image off to the world, we're so great.
I think you're playing devil's advocate right now.
I am totally.
In fact, that's all you're doing.
I want to take one more step to the devil's advocate thing.
Okay.
When we go abroad, I don't think that this is most people. I think most people go abroad because they want to experience something new. Mm-hmm. But there's at least some element, the undercurrent of that would be we come back at the end to our life, which is relatively easy compared to many parts of the world. That's part of what traveling shows us. It lets you see your own context in a slightly different, point of view. So I don't think that we're going on ghetto tours, but when we go to poor countries and then we get to come back to Whole Foods and stuff like that, we may not be insulting them, but there's some
poor countries.
No one says like,
some.
hey, I'm going to Spain because I want to see how the poor people live and then really appreciate how we have it here in the United States.
And oftentimes
you go there for the culture and you go there to learn about the people there and the food that they, I mean, that's what the vast majority of travelers do.
And people, I mean, some people will go to like Bangkok because they want to experience the culture and the food, and some people go because they know they can afford a vacation there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because their money goes further
So
there.
do you think that we see people on this tour that are insulting, like look at that soup kitchen, ha ha, look at them. Do you think that some people might be taking the tour specifically because they want to understand this part of American culture better?
Probably. I mean, I think it's the real issue is this tour guide. You don't know
that
what to
seems
expect.
like a bad person.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, maybe it sounds a little touch and go to take a ride through a real New York City ghetto, but you're right. If there's a language barrier, for whatever reason, people might sign up not knowing that she's just going to be shitting on the culture the whole time.
And maybe they really do want to understand.
Yeah.